Hey race fans, hope you guys enjoyed a crazy race at Talladega Superspeedway. I'm Alex Weaver, and I'm now going to be joined by our championship winning crew chief, Cole Pearn. Cole, I think we're still going at Talladega. Talk about a long race, but Denny Hamlin comes out after the three-wide battle at the Checkered. He gets it done, his 7th win of 2020.
Yeah, definitely a wild race, wild ending. You know, the 11 was one of the cleanest cars, I think, at the end. So it was they're pretty much a bare-boned thrash to the finish, except their cars. So maybe that had something to do with helping them get to victory lane.
We talked about it a little earlier before we started filming. How proud of you are the 19 just strapping things in there to get it done?
Well, I couldn't believe they won a stage win, so that was huge. And then, you know, typical chaos ensued. But yeah, I mean, it was just survival, and they did a good job to get their car at least across the line and score some points and keep themselves in a good position for the Roval.
Well, you mentioned it about all of the cars and what it looked like we were at a short track, possibly Bristol, with how much chaos ensued and how little cars were left when they pulled up on pit road at the end of the race. Keselowski in his post-race interview even said that Tony Stewart would be proud of how many cars were wrecked. So as a crew chief point of view, were you proud at how many cars were completely destroyed?
I don't know. That's a tough one for me to answer. It's, you know, the Speedway thing just makes you cringe. You know, you put all those work into those cars, and the whole time you're doing it, you're like, this is probably just going to end up completely destroyed. So, but that's just is what it is. And sometimes it's not like that. You know, a lot of times it is. And definitely yesterday was on the scale of the high amount of carnage. That's for sure.
We talked last week how Talladega was kind of going to be that first cutoff for guys, because if you had a bad race at Talladega, it was going to be almost impossible to make it up in the Roval. I feel like the cutoff line is pretty set, and most of the guys below have a must win. You agree?
Oh, definitely. Yeah. I mean, I think the right at the cut, there could be some swing there if somebody was to have something trouble early, you know, and I think that's the whole no practice element, you know, leaves the option for that to happen. You know, those curbs are insanely violent at the Roval, and it's easy for something to break or something to come loose that, you know, you got to pretty much build a tank for that racetrack. And it could easily happen to one of those guys down low the cut line, and then somebody below it, you know, has a decent day, and then all of a sudden they're in. So I think the option, as clear as the cut line is, I think there's still some option for people to point their way in.
For those guys that are right above the cut line, is it just survive and advance the Roval, just make sure that you finish the race and not have a crappy points day?
Yeah, 100%. You know, and I think you just got to pay attention to the 18 or any of those guys that are below the cut line. If all of a sudden they're up front waxing everybody, then you'd be like, okay, we might have to do something a little bit different here. And it might turn into a race amongst those guys that are at the bottom of the cut line racing against each other. So still a lot to be seen. And, you know, the Roval's definitely delivered on the high end of the chaos factor so far, so I anticipate it'll be much more the same.
Yeah, fans are in for another week of an exciting race. But before I let you go, I haven't talked to you yet about the 2021 schedule release. NASCAR announced last week. We have 6 road courses now. I'm sure the 19 camp is pretty excited about that. But what do you think of 2021? Oh,
it's awesome. Yeah, I mean, everyone would kind of expecting a big shakeup, and then it finally happened. So you know, to get some new venues on the schedule, like, you know, especially the road courses, I think those are going to be awesome shows, great places to go. You know, I think what we've learned out of the COVID pandemic and being able to do one-day shows, you know, carrying a lot of that over to next year, I think is a good thing. Definitely saves the team money, you know, puts everybody in a better spot. So, you know, I think NASCAR checked a lot of boxes between, you know, keeping the cost down and adding some new venues and excitement. So definitely excited to see those new places, and I think it'll be a great show.
After your Indy 500 crew chief 2 weeks, I think you might be getting some phone calls when NASCAR heads to that road course.
Yeah, I think that'll be sweet. I mean, Indy put on a good show again this weekend at the road course, and Xfinity was an awesome race this year. So, you know, I think the Cup cars will be awesome to see there for sure.
Yeah, it is definitely going to be an exciting 2021. But first, you have to make it to Phoenix for 2020 and finish out this season. We have 5 more left, including the championship, and you have to get through the round of 12 to make it to the round 8. Elimination race coming up from the Charlotte Roval on Sunday, 2:30 p.m. NBC. You don't want to miss it. Cole, I'll see you next week.
Yeah.